Hi, Steve. Look, thank you very much for taking part in the Business Spotlight series. I'm going to pass it straight across to you to introduce yourself and what you do.
Well, thank you very much, Ed. Delighted to be here and be part of this this interview. My name is Steve Wright. I'm the CEO and founder of a small business here in London called Privacy Culture Limited. And what we do is we provide privacy consultancy. So we have a number of privacy professionals and a large number of privacy lawyers. And we help organizations, if you like, ensure that they're compliant with GDPR and other privacy laws which around the world. So most of our clients are global. So we're often having calls at 7 a.m. in the morning with Australia and then late at night with the US. And that's the nature of what we do. But we also have been building a software platform called Horizon, which automates a lot of this process. So it helps demonstrate compliance and helps to demonstrate in particular how you've embedded a culture of privacy, and there are certain KPIs and metrics that we measure, and we demonstrate that all via this dashboard on the Horizon platform. So that's us. We've only been around since, well, I actually formed the company in 2018, just after GDPR went live. I had aspirations to do my own thing for many, many years, but I'd left it quite long before I did it and took the plunge. So we've been going for 4 years, but in between there's been a pandemic, so it's been interesting times, but we're growing strong now. We're just under 20 people, and we're based out of Fleet Street, London.
Fantastic. Well, look, never too late, I think, Steve, and it's obviously it's grown well since 2018, so including, as you say, through the pandemic. So in terms of the software and assessing how people are doing in terms of with the compliance, is that in terms of how well they are actually, everyone's buying into it and following the right GDPR rules?
Yeah, I think the thing is, Ed, with privacy, just like any other set of laws or rules, it's very principle based. And it's a lot to do with behaviours and attitudes towards that. So to change behaviours, you've really got to understand what it is your business does. You've really got to understand what you're doing with personal data or customer data or employee data. And you then need to put in appropriate controls so that people behave and act differently. And the challenge with that, Ed, is that's very difficult to measure, the success of that, how well that's embedded. And so the software is the first of its kind that actually measures how that's been implemented rather than just implementing. So most of our customers are global, sort of an even spread across Europe and some in Asia and some in US, both North America and South America. And it's about sort of helping them move the dial, if you like, and not just implement the law, but actually really get people to behave and think differently around when they're handling personal data.
And you also mentioned the customers there. Is there a particular sector or size of customer who suits this best?
Well, we're quite unique in as much as there's we've got quite a nice spread of customers. No particular sector or industry. We're both in fast-moving consumer goods. We're in banking and financial services, investment banks, etc.
In terms of, you mentioned COVID, obviously you were running through COVID. Was there any impact on the business from that?
Certainly. And I think a lot of uncertainty was the main thing. Interestingly, we still grew. Each year on year we've doubled in revenue and size, but it was just new ways of working. Was the trying to get hold of clients where in the past I would have met them in London, Now everything was done on Microsoft Teams and Zoom. And so it was a kind of changing just the ways of working very, very rapidly. And then depending heavily on, we're a Microsoft house, so we use Teams for all of our filing and folders, etc. So it just expedited, if you like, the digitization of privacy culture, because we had to meet virtually all the time as teams, and we set up several meetings during the week, team meetings, which we traditionally would have done together. And we even got to a point where on Friday afternoons at 5 o'clock, we would meet with a drink in our hand, you know, to still replicate the, you know, not quite the same as sitting in a pub, but you know, to try and be much more relaxed with each other.
Yeah.
And that's,
yeah, Zoom drinks. Yeah,
Zoom drinks.
We've all
Exactly.
been there, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And are the team mostly based in London area?
Yeah, there's, like me, I'm actually down in Kent, but my colleague is also down in Bristol, so some of these people I didn't see for at least a year, but most of them are sort of in and around London, so yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Not too bad. And in terms of the business moving forward, what do you see as the main challenges? Obviously, it's been going well, doubling. What are the main challenges for the business?
Well, yeah, no, there are several key challenges. I mean, the first one is much more bigger than what we control, and that is the sort of complexity of privacy laws that are growing throughout the world. And other laws that come into effect that sort of indirectly impact us, things like the AI Act from Europe, but there is legislation in all different parts of the world. So we have to constantly keep our head above water. There was a very interesting finding yesterday with Facebook or Meta that were pursued by None of Your Business, which is a sort of, you know, action group, and they successfully managed to push through a very key piece of finding from the Irish regulator. But the real challenges that we have as a business, which is about scalability, because a lot of the relationships are that I've maintained or I've developed over the years, and my reputation in the industry is quite prevalent. So the challenge is taking that and putting that into the whole team, you know, into privacy culture, and also to put that into software. So the bottleneck is me often, and you know, I'm sure that every small business owner would say the same. You know, how do I scale myself? I can't clone myself. So it's about recruitment as well, and then I would say retention, and then the third kind of area for me in terms of challenges is how do I grow in other markets without getting into massive expenditure? How do I penetrate those markets? And really the model of resellers is something that we're looking to enhance, especially with the software, because that's much more scalable, obviously. Sure. But those are the kind of key challenges I see going forward.
So it sounds very interesting. So lots to get your teeth into as we start the new year then. And again, I know you're very experienced in the industry. Obviously, you've run your own business now for 4 or 5 years. What has been your biggest learning as a business owner?
Sorry,
what's your biggest learning as a business owner?
So the biggest learning is you can't do everything. So you have to bring in people that can do it. So it's learning to let go and to trust others to do, you know, parts of the business. So, you know, obviously at the early days, you know, I'm the sales and marketing, I'm the head of HR, I'm the head of finance, I'm the head of operations, head of delivery. So it is very much about bringing the right team in, and that's really important to me, and surrounding myself by good people, good competent people that I can lean on and trust. So I have built a really excellent team, and so that it's about that. That's got to be the biggest learning, that you can't do it on your own, and you do need support from others. It's otherwise you're your own worst enemy.
Definitely. And then it's a similar but slightly different question. What advice would you have for your 18-year-old self?
Do it younger. Go for it. Go for it, fail, get back up, brush yourself down, get back up, brush yourself down, just keep going. I think I did try a business when I was 25 and it failed, and I sort of ran for the hills and got into corporate. Now that's been very good, 20 years plus in corporate kind of PLC world, but I probably should have done this sooner. So I would say to my 18-year-old self, go and get some experience, but then, understand the world, understand the economics and politics, and how a business functions and how it can run, and what is your profit margin, which you should be laser focused on, and then go for it. And make sure you've got good people behind you, and good business angels and advisors to support you through that growth, because it's incredibly life-changing.
Superb. And what is a source of inspiration for you, Steve?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I've always wanted to better myself, better my situation, and continue to grow. And I think the growth can really only be achieved by putting yourself in situations which are demanding and challenging. And you learn a lot about yourself, you learn a lot about your own capabilities and what your weaknesses are. And that goes back to the previous question. Make sure where you've got those weaknesses, and everybody has them, that you plug them with good people who are going to support you, and just really just continue to challenge yourself to think differently, to act differently, to try and grow your wealth of knowledge, and also the value that you bring, not just to business but to others, to your friends, to your family, to your children, as I have 3 now. So what can I instill in them which I would have loved to have learned or loved to have known. Unfortunately, when you are 18, as my 19-year-old keeps reminding me, that they know everything. So why on earth would they want to listen to their old man? But certainly, I think that's the inspiration, if you like, is to try and help others and help grow yourself, and by helping grow yourself, you help others along with you. So it's a journey, isn't it?
Definitely. And then look, as a final thing, is there any news or any offers you would like to share with the audience?
Offers? What, buy one get one free kind of? Yeah. No, I don't think so. I mean, 2 years ago I set up a not-for-profit for our industry, for the privacy industry, and I would say to anyone that has an interest in privacy, data protection, or just data generally, to get involved with Picasso, which is this not-for-profit industry kind of focus group. Within that, we've split up privacy labs, and we're tackling some real tricky issues for us in our industry, so that we can help our industry. We can do thought leadership, we can put that down on paper, and we can make that open source and available to everyone. So that to me is a really important part about how we can help better ourselves and advance our industry and make it easier to, if you like, easier to comply and easier to demonstrate that compliance. And I think that's anything that can be done to that. So that I would say is the best offer I can give is to ask people to get involved with the Picasso.
Great. And what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, contact me. I'm on LinkedIn, so I'm very easy to get hold of, or to reach out to. There's a number of board members of the Picasso board, and if you go to the website www.picasso.org, you can see the contact details. You can register your interest, and then you reach out, and someone will be in contact.
Superb. Great. Well, let's hope that lots of people go and do that and get in touch and take advantage of that opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, let's hope so. Thank you, Ed.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Steve. It's great to find out about the business, and look forward to seeing the developments in the year ahead.